I'm Grayson Perry, and usually as an artist I make tapestries, sculptures and pots. But for the past 3 years I've been working on something that's a little bit grander in scale.
It's just amazing, it's like nothing else. Incredible.
I'm building a house in Essex, where I'm from. But it's no ordinary house. It's an ornate terracotta covered temple. And it's by far the biggest artwork I'll ever get to make.
It will be a thing.
It's not just the scale that's new for me. It's also my most personal public work, inspired directly by my life and by the people I grew up amongst.
Somewhere, the little me is still trying to make it right.
Once the house is finished, I hope it will make you feel a little bit differently about the county where I was born.
I know that Essex often is seen in a bad light. I'm trying a sort of one transvestite campaign to address the balance.
And if the design looks unconventional, there's a story behind its creation. And it's even more bonkers than the house.
This is your temple. It's a thing I've done for you.
It's very raw. It's like you've watched us all individually. Sorry. Oh, bless.
It's summer 2012, and I've just been given my biggest ever artistic commission. I've been asked to design a house for a site in Rabness. It's in a rural part of northeastern Essex, one of the most conservative corners of Britain. And even before we've broken ground, the project's off to a bumpy start.
I'm just reading some of the comments from the website where people can object to the planning application for the house. The design of the proposed building is not in keeping with rural England. It would be better suited to the Far or Middle East. It will open the floodgates to other avant-garde applications. What next? A miniature version of the Shard? Brackets London, maybe. I'm picking up that people don't want change. We're trying to bring a little bit of delight to the countryside, that's all. It's a nice place, but it's not exactly the Grand Canyon. What I like about this site, it's not where Towie would be filmed. It's kind of, yeah, it's really ordinariness. It's not tan impalas and hot hatchbacks, and yet it's not Coggeshall with its kind of half-timbered houses either. It's just an ordinary, slightly scrappy, but nice bit of countryside.
I'll be collaborating with the architect Charles Holland of Fat Architecture.
So I think when people come down Black Boy Lane,
right,
they approach the house quite sort of head on, so you see that.
Charles has overcome the objections and has just secured planning permission to demolish a semi-derelict cottage and to build the house on this spot.
Oh no, that's manky in there.
A couple of dead bodies.
The house has been commissioned by Living Architecture, an organisation which aims to promote contemporary art and design by creating modern houses for holiday rental.
I mean, artists often talk about, you know, their legacy and giving something to posterity. I've never been really that interested in it. I always said, oh, if after I die and they bung it all in a skip the day after, it doesn't really matter. But at the same time, it's not me who, you know, let's do it.
But the idea of building a house like this one has been knocking around my head for years.
So I suppose the whole project started with this model because I've always wanted to build a church because I was my interest in religious architecture, and so I just started doodling really. When I look at my first ever drawing, I did. I thought if I'm going to, I'm probably only going to get one shot at designing a house. I thought I'm going to make it as bonkers as possible.
For me, this is an opportunity to create a building that doesn't just look impressive, but that tells a powerful story as well.
You could make a building and you go, wow, look at it, it's all shiny. But that's not telling you a story. Whereas when you go to a big cathedral, it has this feeling of this weight of narrative, not just in the religious narrative, but also in its history and the getting built and everything like that. We kind of thought about what was the narrative of the building. And the idea came to me in a moment, the idea that if you looked at the Our Lady chapels, we talked early on about Our Lady of Essex. And all I had to do really with that was very simply was just strip away the Catholicism from it. And you're left with a lady who lives in Essex and she's just an ordinary lady.
So the house will be devoted to a fictional Essex everywoman, who I've christened Julie May Cope, and I'm going to fill it with artworks which celebrate her life. Born in 1953, Julie died aged 61 in a freak accident with a fast food delivery scooter. The house will be her memorial, an Essex Taj Mahal. At the site in Rabness, site manager Jason Rookyard and his team of local builders will have to grapple with the practicalities of a house dedicated to a woman who doesn't really exist.
It looks a bit like a fairy tale house. Look at that, you can barely even see it in there.
I think it could be one of these projects, right? It's going to be something like the Angel of the North.
When you talk to people, you're saying, oh yeah, Julie's been married twice and there's a tapestry in this bedroom with her first marriage, tapestry in this bedroom with her second marriage, and I'm certainly starting to believe the story is probably true. So it's like I'm really talking about a real person.
Although construction on the house has started, I've still not decided what to put in it. So I'm travelling through the county for inspiration.
I imagine Julie kind of growing up in a place like this. It's one thing to talk about these things, it's another thing to truly represent the kind of trials, tribulations, celebrations and mistakes of a kind of average life.
I got some useful insights about how to get behind the Essex stereotype from Colchester hair and beauty salon owner, Holly.
So what sort of qualities do you think I should celebrate in my art project?
I think determined, glam. I think we're hardworking, we're easy to get on with, we're fun. And I think because we have to overcome that stereotypical type, that's why it's made us more determined.
Where do you think that comes from then?
I don't know, babes, it's in our blood. Maybe it's in the rollers. Like if I've got a dream, let me tell you, I try my damned hardest to make it happen now.
So do you think that those things are related? The idea of being kind of a driven person, a self-made person, that's a very Essex trait?
Probably, yeah. I never thought I could have my own business. I'm quite severely dyslexic. From being told from a very young age, you're not going to be anything in life because you only like dancing and you only like art and you can't be an artist and make a living out of it, but clearly I can because I'm good with hair and makeup, and just because you're not good at one thing doesn't mean to say you can't be good at something else and excel in that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you've said it.
Do you reckon?
Solid.
Resilient, aspirational women whose paths have been strewn with obstacles. That's what I want Julie's life story to convey. I'm also scouting the places Julie lived in. I want them to tell the story as well. This is Canvey Island, at the very southern tip of Essex, and this is where Julie was born on the 2nd of February 1953, and she moves on through the Essex landscape to places I hope that somehow exemplify aspects of British history, like Basildon, Southwood and Ferris, Malden, Colchester, Rabness. These are not names that are necessarily being listed by UNESCO. Wave after wave of social mobility, out from London to the towns and countryside beyond. It's the archetypal Essex story, the story of my own family, so I want Julie's life journey to reflect that as well. Basildon represents, I suppose, a period in English history of, optimism. And I remember coming here as a child and it seemed incredibly modern at the time. I can remember that fountain and it all seeming enormous and stark and go ahead. And now, it doesn't so much. From the places Julie lived in, I'll create a pilgrimage route for people to travel, from her Canvey Island birthplace all the way to a final resting place in Rabness. I want to celebrate the county in a building. But what if the people of Essex don't actually like it? Charles and I are visiting Rabness to try to allay the misgivings we've provoked.
Even if people think we're a bunch of metropolitan pretentious wankers, they might be right. But hey, and proud is what I say.
It's the biggest artistic commission I've ever undertaken. But so far, the people of Rabness have given my plans for Julie's house a decidedly mixed response. So it's time to face the music at the Rabness Village Hall.
This was the initial sketch I did for the tiled version of the house. And I wanted to sort of dedicate this building to, so it had a narrative, but that wasn't traditionally religious, but at the same time had a kind of sacred feeling. I wanted her to be a strong woman, so there's this sort of mythic goddess-like figure I wanted on the outside, like Samson. And I wanted her to have, embody Essex somehow, because it's meant to be a house for Essex. One bedroom for each marriage, I thought. So we got a kind of, a bedroom that is the young love, the young early 20s, and then they'll have these big tapestries staring down at you on your bed of Julie and her first husband there looking down. The other side, we'll have the mature Julie having her second marriage, and that's as far as I've got thus far. So thank you, yeah.
So I think there's only doubts before, there's none now.
Oh, good.
You've solved it.
Oh, good. That's good. I hope you speak for the village. I wouldn't presume.
So what did you think about the idea of a house for Julie?
The story's very good, and then you're putting it into practice.
Yeah, I'm mythologising an ordinary story.
Yeah, really, absolutely. Because it's everybody's story, isn't it?
Essex myself, and I'm very proud of that. I know that Essex often is seen in a bad light, and I'm trying a sort of one transvestite campaign sometimes, it feels like, to address the balance of how people see Essex.
I did wear this jacket particularly for this event. Hang on. So see. It will be a thing.
But the people of Rabness are not the only worry. A visit to the site brings home the scale of what architect Charles and I have undertaken here.
Very apprehensive of the client seeing the product for the first time. I think we're the people that have to make their drawings into a reality, really, which is always a challenge.
How you doing? Good to see you. Do we need to...
Hello.
How are you, Jason?
Hi, Jason.
We need to high-vis up.
Manager.
You're quite high-vis already. But
Yeah. Oh, I see. I've got to be high-vised up. I'm going to have a pee now before I...
This is a little bit. You have to mind your head.
Yeah.
Okay. So first impression's good.
Yeah. It's one thing to have a fantasy about an imaginary sort of character and then sort of dedicate the building to her. You know, it's another thing to confront that reality and also when you meet all the people who are involved in making the thing, and of course you think, oh God, that puts pressure on my ideas being up to it. And now I'm having to drive this juggernaut behind a fantasy idea. Yeah.
And it's not just the scale of the project that's alarming me. It's also the precision that creating a functional building demands.
from an architectural point of view, there's just like a whole load of things coming together, particularly making these really big dormer windows. And getting all that spot on is quite tricky.
In Charles's capable hands, Julie's house has evolved into a building that is 18.5 metres long by 7.4 metres at its widest point. It's got a series of copper alloy roofs which step up from 6 to 9.5 metres in height.
It's just made of blockwork, but the blockwork has to be super precise because otherwise the tiles won't fit perfectly. You know, they're pretty demanding, they're very big, they've got a very complex amount of modelling on them. So technically very hard to make. It's like a challenge to get that absolutely spot on.
The entire outside of the building will be covered in 7 different Julie-related terracotta tiles, all of which I have to design.
This is the model for the main tile. I've been through a bit of a sort of changes of mood around the whole project, really. I was thinking, oh God, this is such a sort of never-ending task stretching out before me, and it felt quite difficult.
Charles has identified a Lancashire firm who think they can manufacture the 1,925 tiles the house calls for. But at a cost of more than £200,000, the slightest imprecision on my part could prove to be a disaster.
Well, these tiles, they are the most important thing about the outside of the building. But one of the hardest things that I've found is getting them accurate, because I'm not used to working accurately. As a sloppy bohemian artist, I'm used to just sort of, oh, that'll do. Whereas if you're making something that's got to fit in a repeating pattern on an architectural project, they've got to be millimetre perfect, and that's just not in my nature. Aha, bollocks.
November 2013. And at shores of Darwin, high on the Lancashire moors, Charles's worst fears have come true. My Julie tile designs have been stretching terracotta technology to its limits.
Key issues with the Julie from our perspective, it's very lumpy, it's very bumpy. There are spots where we've got to get the glaze into the bottom of the feet. Our biggest issue is Julie's nipples. Every single Julie has had to have her own nipples reapplied to her.
It's just a case of carefully, because they're so tiny, yeah, sticking nipples on all day.
These are our kilns for the Julies. Because she's got a really big belly, we've had to design a special programme just for Julies.
Ooh.
I've actually left a little bit more out for you. Scale and all. So there's 1 or 2 Julies.
The army.
Okay. You go.
Wow.
I see, right, yeah, that's the...
Spectacular.
I don't know, it's hard to... I immediately want to be up in the air so I can see it.
John, would you put the cage on, please? Thank you.
It's quite high, isn't it? I'm definitely getting an impression of the hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of tiles. I think I've never done anything when a moment of kind of creativity has had such repercussions.
With the nipple issue resolved, my tile designs have passed muster. But on site, Jason and his team need to install Charles's bespoke design bay windows and get the roof on before winter draws in.
The stress involved in building 77 houses is nowhere near the stress of building this one house. It's just been relentless, just trying to keep to it. I think there'll be several relieved people after today, I think.
That's 2 in, mate, we're doing.
Right, there you go.
But if the team are pleased with the progress they're making, my vision of an ordinary Essex woman is eliciting a range of opinions on site.
Are you all done?
What's that, the tiles in there, Jace?
Yeah.
They're horrible, aren't they? Hard to look on now. They're not my cup of tea. So what's it about? She died or something, didn't she?
She got run over by a pizza delivery person.
Back in them days, they had pizza delivery blokes. How long ago was it meant to be? Is it a true story?
It's a mythical tale of an Essex lady going through her life.
Oh, right. So it weren't no fake tan, fake nails, fake boobs. It wasn't none of that.
Is that your interpretation of an Essex? As an Essex woman, is it?
Oh, massive wreck.
Once Julie's done, it'll be alright, won't it?
Once Julie's up and running.
Winter is coming to Radness, and Julie's house has to be protected from the weather so that the work on the tiling and the interiors can carry on. My terracotta tiles are climbing up the building. The copper alloy roof is being put in place.
It's like fairyland up here.
And with the interior fit-out also proceeding rapidly, the onus is now on me to deliver the artworks for the house. what's preoccupying me the most are the two huge panoramic tapestries depicting scenes from Julie's life, which I'm designing for the main chapel space.
For me, you know, the bulk of the man hours are making the artworks. Basically, they're waiting for me to finish, and because I'm a detail freak, it's taking forever. So I've been thinking about Julie non-stop, really, for the last couple of months. She's a kind of, you know, young middle-aged hippie rock chick, probably still dumps the kids with the grandparents and goes off to Glastonbury. These are the ghosts of her parents sort of hovering here, because she has a little bit of a crisis when some of her kind of childhood comes home to roost.
And the more absorbed I get in Julie's life, the more it's making me think about my own.
A perceptive viewer might ask me, so Julie, and I might go, ooh. There's something in my biography and my history that is very pertinent to Julie's story, and it'll probably come along and bite me at some point.
It's the 5th of July 2014, and at the site of Julie's house in Essex, an unusual topping out ceremony is about to begin.
Yeah, she's coming out on a stretcher in a minute.
I'm looking forward to it. She shouldn't be that badly injured, should she?
No, she's supposed to be run over by a motorbike.
Is she?
Yeah. She's been locked away in a container now for, I don't know, good 5 or 6 weeks now. So she blinks every time you open the door. Ready? 1, 2, 3, lift. So she's not that heavy. All right. It's time to go home, Julie. Waited a long time to bring her out here and show everybody. So I'm bringing her home to meet Mum and Dad. When people come to the house for the first time, people say, "Who is Julie?" I said, "Oh, she's not real. She's a figment of Grayson's imagination that I've brought into to make her come alive, I suppose." And now she is. It's been a long time coming today. Obviously been on site now for 50 weeks. I'm fighting back the tears nearly. It's like giving birth myself. doors were going to break while she was up there.
Yeah. I thought mine were going to break.
Right, there you go.
But the rooftop Julie isn't the most personal of my tributes to her. I've been working on the artworks for the interior, which tell the story of her life. And the centrepiece will be a life-size statue, the largest ceramic sculpture I've ever tried to make. When I started this whole project, you know, Julie was this sort of vague, blurry figment, probably coming out of my subconscious somewhere, more with which later. But so when it came to sort of making the statue of Julie, I wanted to make this sort of very hieratic, you know, goddess-like thing, because this is in many ways the sort of central image of her. But at the same time, you know, she's just an ordinary woman living in Essex with a relatively ordinary job. For all the kind of joy and colour and alienness of the house stuck there in the Essex landscape, it's kind of got, you know, like everything I try to do, I try to make it seem pleasurable and decorative and hilarious, and yet it is about a serious issue. You know, it's about our ordinary lives and being aware of what matters and sort of celebrating our relationships, you know, our connection with other people, who we come home to watch telly with in the evening, and who we love, and this is like a temple to that. With the roof finally watertight and crowned by Julie, the scaffolding can come down. And I can judge the effect of the building's exterior for the very first time. Oh. Oh. Oh my word. I'm gobsmacked. Oh my God. It's just amazing. It's like nothing else. Fucking incredible. Really good job.
Thank you.
Really good job.
Yeah.
No, it's looking
we love
super.
it.
Yeah, I bet you do.
We do, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, it's good, because that's just what we wanted you to feel like.
No, I'm quite moved by it. It's mad. And brilliant.
And lovely.
It really works, yeah. It does all the things I want it to. It's sort of, it's an exceptional thing, but it's also not, you know, yet another modern building. You know, it's something, there's nothing like it. I just haven't seen anything like it.
Haven't stopped smiling for like 2 weeks.
She looks good, hasn't she?
She's looking good. It's an amazing privilege to have been allowed to do this and being allowed to go off on one. And I think that's what makes interesting art. But it's not enough for me to like the building. I want the women it's about to feel it too. So what I'm going to do now is take a band of real-life Essex Julies to see what they make of the house we've built in their honour.
It looks like something out of a fairy tale.
It's real. Actually exists.
Almost 3 years since we began, and Julie's house is finally nearing completion. Architect Charles is discovering how the art I've made about Julie works in the spaces he's created.
I think as a sort of collaboration between art and architecture, it's really interesting and quite a challenging thing. Can't think of a recent building that's done that, where those two disciplines actually don't really work together at all normally. To do that in such a thorough and sort of comprehensive way, I mean, I love it. It's a fantastic thing.
While Charles completes the installation, I'm in Canby Island, my fictional heroine's birthplace, waiting for my band of real-life Essex Julies to arrive.
I want to take these women on a pilgrimage to the house because who better to kind of cross Essex along Julie's lifeline than 6 women from Essex called Julie? And I'm hoping they'll kind of maybe, they're their ideal audience. I'm hoping they'll sort of reflect on Julie's life and on Essex history and perhaps, you know, give everybody an insight into what I'm trying to do.
Do you reckon we're going to get a fry-up? Because I'm kind of secretly hoping for one. I remember getting some hair clips for passing my cycling proficiency.
Hair clips?
Yeah.
Greetings, brave travellers. Hello, Julie. Hello, Julie. Hello, Julie. Hello, Julie. Hello, Julie. And hello, Julie. Of course, I'm Grayson, or Julie as I am today as well, really.
You've upstaged us.
Well, I'm trying to channel Julie, you see, on the weekend. And so my Julie would wear this kind of look. Anyway, I think it's time to saddle up.
Okay, ladies, onward. So it's Basildon bound for me and my Julies. Gift shop assistant Julie, interior designer Julie, bereavement group organiser Julie, equine dental technician Julie, hypnobirther Julie, and social worker Julie. We're heading for Basildon because my fictional Julie grew up there. It's the time in her life story where her experiences most closely mirror my own.
Here we are.
Wow.
So this is Brook House, and this is where Julie grew up. So her teenage years would have been spent looking out at this view.
How do you relate to her?
As we follow Julie up Essex, we will see that, you know, she climbs the social ladder rung by rung, and that I've done myself. You know, I feel like I started off in a council house in Chelmsford, and now I live in a Georgian townhouse in the middle of London.
Do you think that Julie had a better upbringing than what you did yourself, or?
She had a sort of relatively stable parents. I think they were all right. You know, at least they were consistent. I think my mother definitely, there were in the background was a feeling that she could have done better. I don't blame her for anything because she was a victim of her own time, like everyone is, you know.
Yeah.
But that doesn't deny how you feel yourself.
But if I relate to Julie personally, I've failed if my real-life Julies don't relate to her too. And by the time we get to Southwood and Ferrers, they're starting to.
Why we're here is because Dave, who is Julie's first husband, he became a local councillor, right? Because he was such a Lord of the Rings fanatic, every place on this estate is named after somewhere in Lord of the Rings, you see.
He made that decision?
Yeah, he made that decision. This, of course, is also the scene of Dave's terrible infidelity. This place for Julie has sort of quite bad memories, really.
A woman scorned. Yes.
Yeah, by which point she already had 2 kids.
Oh, this is a bit close to home.
Oh, really?
It happened to me. I can identify with that. Oh, yeah. You wonder why someone doesn't want to be with you. The thought of becoming a single parent was such a failure in my mind at the time. To be a single parent in the mid-70s must have been horrendous.
So,
the stigma.
Yeah, why do everybody always think that they've failed when a relationship goes wrong?
Well, because someone doesn't want to be with you anymore
Yeah,
or rejects you, and so you think, what's wrong with me, I guess?
Yeah.
The last thing I would have ever wanted was a broken family. My parents divorced when I was 9.
Yeah, so you didn't want to repeat that?
No, I felt like I was pushed into doing that by somebody that I loved and trusted, and now had an even stronger bond with because we shared children.
If there is an element of kind of wishful thinking in it, you know, for my mother or whatever, then I made sure that Julie actually had quite a good divorce in the end. Because my mother had
amicable one.
Yeah, my mother had such a, she basically spent my childhood slagging off my father to me.
Questions have been forming in my Julie's mind, and during an overnight stop in Braintree, they put me on the spot.
What's the message that you're giving with Julie?
A sort of celebration of the sort of goodness of the ordinary woman, you know, and the fact that there's lots of people out there who haven't fulfilled their potential because they were women, probably of a certain age, you know, and it's still going on now today. In some ways, it's a sort of temple to thwarted female intelligence and drive. A bit of sadness in there, you know, that all those women in times past, our mothers and grandmothers who didn't kind of become the person that they hoped.
Is Julie the house, does it represent like your mother, this motherly figure that you can go and feel comforted in as such, and you've created that for everyone else to go and stay there and feel comforted in too?
Yeah, that is touching.
Do you know what I mean?
Near the knuckle, that one for me.
No, but does that represent that, or?
Well, whenever I look back at anything I've done, especially in long retrospect, I see that, oh my God, Grayson, how could you tell people about that? You know, you're really exposing yourself. And of course, doing in the house is no different. And so when I look at it, I sometimes think that what I have been doing for the last 3 or 4 years is rewriting my mother's life, how I wished it could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think your mother would make of it all?
God knows. She'd be like completely freaked out by it.
What do you think she'd say? Would she explode? And send you packing?
I don't know if she really sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she'd. How can, you know, my son put so much effort into that thing, trying to somehow heal something, and that you'd think, my God, he must have been so hurt to do that.
So perhaps you're showing your love for your mother in this monumental house that you've.
I think the thing about it, I think there's a sort of a very deep need to make something right.
Yeah.
That's the thing that is probably the thing that I feel most touched by about this conversation, is that idea that somewhere the little me is still trying to make it right.
Yeah.
Along the route, I'm reading them a poem I've written about Julie's life. It's full of clues that help unlock the art I've made about her that we're on our way to see.
Julie takes a deep breath. She shocks herself. In lonely moments of parental stress, she becomes her livid, puce-cheeked mother, swinging wildly from rage to blame and shame. She learns to step back and grade her anger, to hand out choice pieces where it is due. Julie felt she was finally free to be herself.
The pilgrimage progresses through Colchester, where Julie found happiness with her second husband Rob, and where, in 2014, she met her death. And from there, on to Rabness, to the house that will commemorate her ordinary life.
Okay, here we go. There she blows, everyone. Julie's house.
That's all I think about.
Oh gosh. Oh, it's stunning. It looks like something out of a fairy tale. Reminds me of Hansel and Gretel.
Our journey is over.
It's real. Look at it. It's real.
There it is.
Actually exists.
So this is like the grand ceremonial entrance. If you've come on a long pilgrimage, you come to here, you come up.
Oh, I've just spotted something, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, look at all the pictures everywhere. Oh wow. It is so much to take in. So what's this?
Well, you have to have a kind of altar, you know, the proper goddess sculpture.
Right.
So she's like a kind of mystical goddess.
So she's who we have to pray to when we come to the house.
Yeah. So this is her life.
Like it actually happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. It makes you feel important, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, this is your temple. It's the thing I've done for you.
It's obviously a stunning building and it's incredibly clever and I can see the beauty in it, but it's quite raw. It's like you've watched us all individually, sorry. Oh, bless. There's a part of all of us, it's weird. It's like you've from your imagination, it's obviously fictional, but so it's obviously a very wonderful celebration of what everybody goes through, but it's very raw. In a good way, but because it makes you acknowledge what's happened in your life, all of our lives, and not feel worried about that or guilty about that, and just to celebrate the normal.
After months, Julie feels this is her due. Good talk and wine, longer walks, slower art. A senior social worker and her man enjoying complex friends with broadsheet lives. Often she had to remind herself that this is not ecstasy, a fleeting peak, but happiness, a wide, fertile valley in its familiarity, golden. Julie said she had never known such bliss. Rob had kissed her and said that if she died, he would then grieve as deep as Shah Jahan and build a Taj Mahal upon the Stour.
This has been an opportunity to fulfill some of my greatest ambitions in terms of making art. It really has affected the people who I've made it about. As an artist, that's what I want. I flirt with it, but when it happens, yeah, I'm very proud.